In 2023, we took a Viking Mediterranean Italian Sojourn cruise. During this cruise, you get to pull into quite a few harbors. Some are, whatever, another place to park the ship. I even felt that way in Monaco. Lots of money, lots of big boats, but just not that impressive. But sailing into Messina harbor is different. It is a trip back in time. You feel like you are sailing into an ancient place. Now maybe it's just that you can see so much of the city due to not having tall buildings that are allowed. Or maybe it's just that I'm Sicilian and I feel like a completion of a centuries-old circle. Madonna della Letera is the patron of the port and the city of Messina. The statue was placed above a fortress and is one of the most iconic landmarks of the city of Messina. Coming from the sea, this monument welcomes all while entering the port, with the encrypted words in Latin meaning, "I bless you and the city." According to legend, this message was the last line from the letter that was sent to the inhabitants of the city after their conversion to Christianity. Supposedly, you can see it from almost every point in the city. This is a nice stop because you dock right in the city. No buses. To get where you want to go, you just walk off the ship and there you are. The city was founded by the Greeks in the 8th century BC and was formerly called Zankle, which is translated as scythe in reference to the shape of the natural harbor of the city. If you wanted to shoot a movie that had all the signs and architecture of the 20th century from the early 1900s to the end of the 20th, this would be the place. Messina was given its name in the 5th century by a Peloponnesian tyrant in honor of a Greek city of the same name. Messina Cathedral was granted a status of a minor basilica by the Pope in June of 1947. This bell tower puts on a little bit of a show. It also has the biggest and most complex mechanical and astronomical clock in the world. Built by the Normans, it was consecrated in 1197. The current building is the final result of some 20th century reconstructions, which took place following the disastrous 1908 earthquake and the considerable damage that was the result of heavy aerial bombing in World War II. Only the perimeter walls, the Gothic portal, and an apse remained standing after the catastrophic earthquake, which also destroyed surrounding edifices in the Piazza Duomo. In 1943, incendiary bombs fell on the restored roof, destroying much of the interior. Only an original mosaic and statue survived the bombing. The interior is extremely beautiful and worth a trip inside. There was a wide variety of floor marble, though. To me, some of it looked out of place, but then again, it had to be rebuilt and use materials that were still available. Messina has been an important seaport city since the time of the Phoenicians. But unfortunately, the city is where the Black Death entered Europe through the Genoese ships from Kaffa in the Crimea in 1348 through 1350. And the plague killed between 70 and 200 million Europeans. Like the rest of Sicily, Messina has been influenced by numerous ethnic groups. It has been controlled by the Phoenicians, the Carthaginians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Vandals, the Ostrogoths, the Achlabeds, the Fatimids, the Calbids, the Aragonese, the Spanish, and the Normans. In 1908, a 7.1 magnitude earthquake and tsunami occurred on the 20th of December in Sicily and Calabria, which is in southern Italy. The epicenter was right in the Strait of Messina, which separates Sicily from the Italian mainland. The cities of Messina and Calabria were almost completely destroyed, and between 75,000 and 82,000 people died. It was the most destructive earthquake ever to strike Europe. The tsunami leveled the city, and now there are no tall buildings allowed as a precaution for future events. In World War II, the Allied invasion, Operation Husky, level bombed the city, killing thousands of civilians. But it has been rebuilt to a really beautiful city. A total of 293 aftershocks took place between the 28th of December 1908 and March 11th, 1909. So they underwent all this for a whole year. The disaster made headlines worldwide, and international relief efforts were launched. With the help of the Red Cross and sailors of the Russian and British fleets, search and cleanup was expedited. Several streets in Messina have been named after the Russian sailors, and statues had been erected not just in Messina but in nearby Taormina. A few structures survived the earthquake. They included the domed medieval church, and as you walk around Messina, you see some buildings that are actually almost 10 feet below street level. These are the buildings that survived the earthquake, and when the city was rebuilt, it was decided to leave them alone as a memorial to the disaster. Messina is literally built upon the ruins of the previous buildings. They didn't clean up the rubble, they just built on top of it. There was some talk about trying to build a bridge since the time of Charlemagne. But recent talks in the 1900s were shelved because of the tectonic plates in the strait that are in continuous motion. The idea would never come to fruition. However, the project for a suspension bridge was revived again with a decree by the current government in March of 2023. And they've actually received presidential approval to make an attempt to build a bridge between mainland Italy and Messina. So, hey, who knows? Maybe you'll be able to drive back and forth shortly. One of the places we visited by bus was the narrowest point between Sicily and Italy, which is only about 2 miles apart, and you could take water shuttles back and forth. Although I swim like a rock, to me it looks like a good swimmer could actually make it. And on June 18th of 2017, Matali Kanzod, if I'm saying the person's name correctly, a 15-year-old girl native to Sunnyvale, California, successfully completed the swim of the Messina Strait. It took her 1 hour and 20 minutes while she faced rain, wind, and very challenging currents. There is actually a lot more to see in Messina than we got a chance to, and this city is well worth a stop, and I'm sure it would be really nice to stay here overnight. Next stop, Crotone.